everybody, and today I'm going to explain how you can use the Dark Harvest in the 7th edition, because quite a few people seem to be a bit, confused how to use this in 7th edition, and if you can at all. And the answer is yes, you can use this, but you have to use the most up-to-date rules. So for example, here's the World Killer. You have to use the up-to-date rules for Adamantium Will, Ever Living, and so on. And all the upgrades that he's able to take, you can take, even if they're under the Common Codex, because you have to use the most up-to-date rules. So if you want to take the Weave here, you'd have to look at the 5th edition, the 6th edition Codex, because that's the newest rules with that in. So if it's on the new Codex, you can go back a Codex, say is the newest rule for that one piece of war gear. But this World Killer is a 2-up save thanks to this, which is still good. But he hasn't got a 3-up invulnerable save like he used to, because this is in the new Codex, and it's a 4-up invulnerable save now. So he's actually got 2-up, 4-up, and if you actually check Battle Scribe, he's still 2-up, 3-up. So if you go to make your list, you have to manually make sure you use all correct. And another good thing, another thing I should help you out with now, is as you can see the dedicated transport here, the dedicated command badge. And if you look at, where is it? This one, yeah, the rule book. You can still select this as a dedicated transport, even though you can't actually get in it anymore. But you have to use the most up-to-date rules, which is... Right, let's use this. So for 80 points extra, you actually get quite a bit of a discount for this. It comes as an overall standard, and you can also take all the war gear from this. Because this is the most up-to-date rules. It's a little bit cheesy because you get all this extra points off, because it's only 80 points. So you get 55 points off this. So every overload you take, you can spam one of these. This is the most up-to-date rules, so you can't get out, can't get in, and it's not able to get in it. But the rulebook says you can take it. You also give it the war scythe and so on. And another thing we have here is that people seem to get confused. Is the let's check this one. Nope. Yeah, this is the one. The Canoptic Wraiths. So you see page 94 Codex. All things that are listed, let's check the Codex. You have to use the up-to-date Codex for. So the Wraiths you have to take in a minimum set of 3, and if all the rules of the new Codex. Same with the Tomb Layers and Destroyers. But the restriction of this is you can't take Heavy Destroyers. That's the fast attack selection there. Another thing people have a problem with is the out-of-date models. But as you can see, there's actually a different name to a Canoptic Scarab. Okay, see that there means you have to take this, and you have to pay these points for it. Another example is if you take the flayed ones. Right, if you take the flayed ones here, okay, you have to pay the points, and you have to abide by all the rules that are given because they're not flayed ones. They're Myonarch flayed ones. Okay, and these are not as good as the new ones. They only get 3 attack space, which is the same as the other ones, but they haven't got the claws, as you can see, so you don't get the extra attack for 2 extra weapons, and they don't AP anything. You can give them a shred for 10 points upgrade for the first round of combat. But you have to abide by these rules if using the Dark Harvest. But these are also a troop choice in this one, so the objective secured. So you're giving up the extra attacks and the AP and shred for objective secured. The same with the warrior. You have to listen to these rules. And another good note I want to show you is because you have to abide by these rules here, if you look here, the Ghost Arc is actually more expensive in this book. And you cannot use the Codex because it precisely says you take a dedicated transport for 155 points. But the same is also said for the Night Scythe. Because it's actually not a warrior thing, this is a special book. You can take a Night Scythe for 100 points, so you get 30 point deduction on that. And the same with these. You have to abide by all the rules here. So you can't just take 20 flayed ones, okay, and use the rules from the Codex, because they're not proper flayed ones. They got a different name. If it says flayed ones, check Codex, like the Wraiths and the Destroyers, you use the up-to-date rules. But it's very important that you read this book thoroughly and check all the names. And anything it says that you could get from the Codex, you take from the most recent rules. Say it like here, the Night Scythe, the Command Badge, the Ghost Arc. The Ghost Ark, if you bought it, it'd be a dedicated transport. You pay 100 something points instead of 115. Okay, because you take it from the book itself. Same with the Catacomb Command Barge. If you want to buy it separately, you have to pay the full points for it. You have to pay the 35 points. If you had a Merrick Overlord, and you can just pay the 80 points and you get that. Same with the Night Sight. If you want to buy it separately, you have to pay the extra points. So if you want to buy just a Night Sight, take a Lord in it or something, that says you can't take it as a dedicated transport, you got to pay the full points for it. And the same with these, the Charnel Lynch Guard. And because you have dispersion shields, there's another thing people get kind of confused. These are the new up-to-date dispersion shield is a free-up invuln. If you look really close here, it specifically says a Charnel Lynch Guard for the dispersion shield, which means this is still valid. They haven't got a free-up invuln. They still got the 4-up, they still hit shots back. Okay? If it says a dispersion shield has a 4-up invuln, then you use the new rules. Because it specifically says the name of the character here, this rule is still in effect. The same with the Tombstalker, with the Adamantium Will thing. Because it specifically says him on there, it's still valid. If you use Battle Scribe, you can see the death marks of all points and so on, and so are these. But you have to make sure you read the book. And anything that says Codex, you can use. And another little thing I would like to show you, if I can find it. Right, another thing I would like to show you is if you take if you look here, the Royal Court, you have to use these rules. And so you know you can take a Cryptechnics formation. But the thing is, if you read it, it says they have to stay. The Royal Court has to stay together. Okay, it says you can split off and take it and go in another unit because they're not actually independent characters in the other edition. And if you look at the Lord here, he's not an independent character. So if you take him for 35 points, he has to stay on his own, or you can use this here and put him in a thing of warriors or immortals. If you took 10 of these, then you can put one in each warrior squad, or have them all in the blob and go together. You can take 5 Cryptechs here, okay? And if you look here, Cryptech, Necrons Codex. So you go to the Necron Codex, right, Cryptech. You have to use the new rules. He's not 25 points like it says in Battle Scribe and such. In the new rules, he's 65 points, and he is infantry character, and he's an independent character. Okay? So if you wanted to, you could take a Cryptech as his Royal Court, and because he's still technically in his own unit, he can still join the Flayed Ones and so on, and any other unit he wants. But if you take a Lord and a Cryptech, he couldn't, because he has to stay with a Lord. Unless the Lord went off on his own and you chucked him separately. If you took like 5 Lords and 2 Cryptechs, the Cryptechs couldn't go off on their own. They have to stay together. You have to follow these rules here. Okay? And make sure if you want to use the Dark Harvest, you just grab one of these PDFs. Because who wants to pay 50 quid for a book is out of date, really. And just follow the rules nicely. As long as you always use the new rules, and then always use the newest rules for the book you got. So your animation in this works the same way as Codex because it's replaced. The war sites are AP2 and AP1 and so on. And anything that's not listed in the Codex that they listed here, you use the other rules for. Okay. Like the phase shifter, the flattery is it will not die now. I think it will not die anyway. But it's whatever. And the Pharaoh special rule, which is really powerful, because that's been removed in the new Codex. You can still take it on the Thingamajig Overlord. We can find him. There. He's here somewhere. See all these here now. You can take all these. Tezrak Labyrinth. Really handy little upgrade for 20 points. And you have to use the newest rules. So there's Codex 6th edition. The 2-up armor, which you can still give him legally. So you can actually give your normal Overlord a 2-up armor, which he desperately needs, and a Tezrak Vault. That Tezrak Labyrinth. The Flench's Scarabs, which is the special thing for this. And Mind Shackle Scarabs. Unfortunately, they have to use the newest rules. Which is, you just take a fear test of 3d6. Okay, so it doesn't mean you can take the Mind Shackle Scarabs from 5th edition or 6th edition. You have to use the newest one. Same with the Flattery. 4-up invuln or 3-up invuln. But you still have to pay the points on listed here. So the War Sight's 10 points for him. And the Voidblade is 10 points. It's not free. Okay, because he's not an Overlord. He's actually a Mind Dark Overlord. He comes standing with a high-fist sword. And like I said, the fair one here is actually listed here what you can do. It has Relentless, which is really good. You can Rapid Fire and Assault. And make sure you follow all the rules. That's all I can say over and over again. And every time you want to put a unit on, Battle Scribe or whatever you use, check the book to make sure it doesn't say Codex Necrons. If it does, open another little tab up, like Unbound Army, and just put them in that way. And obviously still stick to your Force Organization chart, whichever you use, like Combined Arms. Okay, that's all I can really say. I'm just trying to make this video to help people who actually want to use this without starting arguments in the club. And the Catacomb Command Barge is a bit of a cheese thing to do. You may want to be a good sport and just pay the proper points for it. If you're like, really want to kill that one guy who keeps annoying you, take it 30 points. You're allowed to do it because it specifically says you can take it as a transfer for them. So it comes with the Overlord standard because we can get in and out of it. And same with the Night Scythe. Spam flyers for 100 points each, instead of 130. 4 flyers, you get a free one with a few extra points. Quite nasty. Thank you for watching. And I hope this helped you use the Dark Harvest, because it's a cool little army, and you should see my table more often. Okay, thank you.